I don't even know what to say at this point because, I don't know, there's just so much. I'm going to try and stay away from ranting in this video because that'll just get me sidetracked. I'm just going to try and stay to the disgusted and disappointed part of this video. I don't really know what I'm going to do about YouTube at this point. For those of you who don't know, there's this guy named Quantum TV. He made 3 videos, Elden Ring reviews, really terrible videos with some really messed up statements in them, saying things like people who enjoy Elden Ring are abuse victims, people who enjoy Elden Ring should kill themselves, and people who enjoy Elden Ring are cult members. Those are 3 things that he said within those 3 videos. He also, this guy named Mischief on YouTube called him out for what he was doing, and he copyright striked Mischief for using some of his footage, which is not how that works, because fair use is a thing, but he tried to do it anyways, and Mischief took down his own video because he didn't want to deal with it, but then he did deal with it and put his video back up. But people began to figure out that that's just something that Quantum TV does. He copyright strikes people, and until Mischief, it had always worked. People would just take down their video and back off because they don't want to deal with that kind of issues with YouTube and possibly losing the channel that they've built up. But Mischief didn't, and then people like Actman, who this is all about now, caught wind of this, and so Actman made a video making fun of Quantum and his 3 terrible Elden Ring reviews, and also just talking about the messed up stuff that he said, and also brought light to the fact that he was copyright abusing Mischief and copyright claiming him with no consequence, which for some reason there is no consequence on YouTube for copyright striking someone falsely. You can just copyright strike whoever you want. You, on your channel right now, can just go onto YouTube and start sending copyright strikes at people. They'll probably all be denied, but guess what? It won't matter. You won't suffer any consequences because that's just how YouTube is run. So copyright abuse is a thing. You can just copyright strike people for literally no reason. But that video is still up on Mischief's channel, so he understood the situation, made sure he, did his work to make sure that he won that copyright dispute, which most people don't even bother fighting. And then, like I said, Actman got involved and brought light to all of this, and then Quantum got even more upset and started lashing back at Actman, as well as ReviewTechUSA and a whole bunch of other different YouTubers who were making stuff about him. And so Actman, the video him making fun of Quantum was like a normal video that Actman would normally make, where he makes fun of a whole bunch of stuff, makes fun of bad hot takes on YouTube. So that was kind of a normal video he would make, plus a little bit of more seriousness because of the copyright abuse segment. But then we go to his Actman's second video, where he talks about all this information that's been released about Quantum, how he has already had a YouTube channel before that was banned for hate speech, and he's somehow been managing to ban evade, because that's against terms of service. If you previously had a YouTube channel and it was deleted or banned by YouTube, I mean, like it was taken down for violating terms of service, you cannot have another channel. And if you do, and that is found out, then your current channel will be banned and deleted for violating terms of service, because that is against terms of service. And people have found proof, like undeniable proof, that he had previous channels that were banned for hate speech. Not to mention that he has a whole bunch of stuff that he's posted on social media. For example, saying that the 2 females in a couple from some Instagram post, he told them in the comments of it that they should have been part of a mass shooting. He's also gone on publicly and said that people who are homosexuals should not exist, and the world would be better without them, I think was one of the exact wordings that he said. So, yes, he's said some very terrible things, and it's very understandable why his previous channel was banned, and he's trying to claim that all of this was from him being hacked. No one believes him, and it's not just this stuff coming out of the woodworks because people are fabricating this information either, because these are posts from his accounts that were linked on his YouTube channel that he still runs, Now he's taken the links off and also deleted the posts since, but they weren't deleted until this whole situation blew up, of course, and then while ReviewTechUSA was live streaming and, you know, showing the world all these tweets and posts that he had made, he then proceeded to start deleting them while ReviewTechUSA was streaming. So it's very obvious that he said these things and many other things. I'm not going into the rabbit hole of everything he said or done because it's awful. There's a lot. There's video clips, even then, with his own voice saying things that are like racial slurs, like calling someone a half-breed. And that's still on his channel, if I'm not mistaken. That video hasn't been taken down. Like, there's so much stuff that he's done that is very clearly socially unacceptable and also violating YouTube's terms of service because they have things against hate speech. So all of this stuff coming out, Actman made a second video about Quantum TV, basically saying, hey, this guy is messed up, talking about all the stuff he said, talking about how he's violated terms of service, how he's ban evading, all sorts of stuff, how this dude needs to be taken off the internet, and YouTube needs to take action. So basically, he made this video to bring it to the public and YouTube's attention that Quantum TV is seriously messed up, and he said towards the beginning of that video that his end goal for that video was to get Quantum TV's YouTube channel deleted because he does not deserve to be on YouTube with the things that he says and does. He should have his accounts revoked, not just from YouTube, but from all social media platforms for the things he has done. And everyone thought that was going to go well. Literally everyone. Penguin Zero or Moist Critical, you know, one of the bigger YouTubers on this entire platform has been doing this for a long time. Even he gave comments on it and said that he hoped the channel was deleted. So many people, ReviewTechUSA, and everyone was saying, there's no doubt, right? Quantum TV's channel is going to get deleted. It's just YouTube had been either turning a blind eye to him before or genuinely didn't know and it slipped under the radar. And with all this stuff coming out, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they go through with deleting Quantum TV's channel. Not only that, but Actman was using contacts at YouTube, talking to them, setting up meetings to talk about this to get Quantum's channel deleted. Things got worse, though, because after he posted that video, Quantum got even more upset. Quantum began threats of doxing the Actman's family. He found out the Actman's family's personal information. He said that he knew where they lived. He called them, specifically the Actman's mother. He called her and began, to at least some extent, beginning to harass his family, or what could very, very well be considered harassment. We haven't seen the full story, but it could very well be considered harassment, and veiled threats were involved, like saying things like, we wouldn't want families to get involved in this. The whole situation escalated even more when Actman posted the second video with the goal of taking down Quantum TV stuff. But Actman was in the right. Very clearly, even if he messed some things up, Quantum was in the wrong. That was of no doubt. And Quantum should have been taken off the platform. You notice I said should have been, because for some reason, and this came out recently, that all of this was happening like a little less than to a little more than a month ago, like in a range there. But this past week, the information came out that, lo and behold, for some insane reason, Quantum TV's channel is going to remain on the platform, and YouTube sided with Quantum TV, and is not going to punish him in any way for anything he's done, or for the fact that he is provably ban evading already, that he has legitimate reasons to be banned by YouTube's terms of service word for word, and he's not being banned. Even terms of service that say explicitly in the description that violations of this specific rule will result in termination of your channel. He has violated those, provably, and his channel is still up. So YouTube, something's going on with YouTube. And Actman then proceeds to call this out. The Actman makes a video that doesn't just talk more about the Quantum situation, but talks about how YouTube is making a huge mistake. He uses YouTube's own videos of their employees talking out terms of service, as well as screenshots and images of terms of service descriptions from the YouTube webpage, laying out perfectly all of these terms of service, juxtaposing that footage and images with examples and proof of how Quantum has violated these terms. He didn't go into that much detail in his second video. He went into extreme detail in his third video, talking about how YouTube is literally breaking their own rules and making an exception for Quantum for some reason that they don't understand. Now, apparently, I don't remember this, I only got to see the video once, but apparently he called out, I believe, either one or two YouTube employees by name. Now, this is public information, so I don't see why it would be that big of a deal, but apparently that did happen, and that might have something to do with the repercussions that have been happening in YouTube's response. But what happened shortly after, like within a few days of the Actman posting that video, and this is all going on this week, first of all, YouTube removed his video and told us nothing. Literally, YouTube does their classic thing where they do their own little thing. They wave their magic wand and things happen on their channel, and they do not give any reasons for what they're doing. They just do it. They act like they're God and that they can do whatever they want with zero repercussions. And so that's what they do. They just magically wave away the Actman's video and take it off of YouTube because they got offended because he was calling them out for making mistakes. And there is some validity to this in the sense that if Actman actually called some of the employees out by name, which I believe he did, and those employees began getting harassed by fans of the Actman, which I should note that Actman never asked them to do, he never wanted that to happen, and I'm sure if he had thought of it, he would have specified for them not to do that, because he has done that in past videos, even with Quantum. He specifically told his fanbase not to go harass Quantum, but he probably didn't think about it when making that video, and maybe some of his fanbase did actually go and harass these YouTube employees, and that is not okay. Sadly, that's a thing that happens on the internet. When someone with a following doesn't agree with something and they talk about it, some of their fanbase is probably inevitably, unless they specifically say otherwise, and even still, they're probably going to go harass or target this thing that they disagree with. Right, so assuming that happened to at least some extent, there is complete validity as to the backlash to the Actman from YouTube. Okay, cool, so that's established. But it doesn't stop there. YouTube is clearly tickled and angry at the Actman because it didn't, like I said, it didn't stop there. The next day, after the video gets removed, the Actman makes a post. I don't know when, and I don't know of the exact timeline, but he makes a post talking about how, basically, his entire channel might be demonetized. Select videos of his have been demonetized, and his entire channel might be demonetized, effectively ending his career on YouTube. That doesn't make any sense, because, you know, if the harassment thing was true, then they could have taken down the video like they did, and then maybe, if they were willing, reinstated it with the decision to let Actman remove parts of the video, like the harassment. Oh, I should mention that they on a technical term, they said that his video got removed for sexual content. I don't know if re-uploads of the video are out there, but I beg anyone who saw his video or can still see his video to try and explain to me how there was sexual content and or nudity, which is what his video was taken down for, in the entire video. There was one part where he used an image that he's used before and is still in one of his older videos that is still up on the channel of a eggplant being photoshopped into Quantum TV's mouth. That is not an image he made, that is just an image that has been floating around the internet, and that is the basis for the sexual content that they removed his video on. Clearly they were reaching and grasping at things to try and take down his video because they were offended. That's what it seems like to everyone. And now everyone's eyes are on YouTube, like, what the hell is going on? Why are you doing this? And YouTube just keeps making it worse. YouTube is then backlashing even harder on the Actman because the Actman is saying things on social media, like his video gets taken down, and he begins to make posts, I believe on Twitter is where he's primarily been updating his fans on stuff. He made some posts that I thought were freaking hilarious and also very much so throwing shade at YouTube, because he made posts like, feeling kind of quirky today, maybe I'll go copyright strike some people for funsies. Like, poking fun at the fact that YouTube doesn't give a shit that people are abusing copyright strike, like, privileges. YouTube doesn't give a shit, and also, beyond that, he also, you know, the whole thing with doxing his family, that, you know, YouTube's just gonna skate over and not look into about his family being doxxed and harassed by Quantum TV, he made another post saying, feeling kind of funny today, maybe I'll go dox some of YouTube team members' family members. Feeling kind of funny today, maybe I will go dox some YouTube employees' family members. A clearly satirical comment about the fact that YouTube doesn't give a shit, because I doubt he could dox those people, even if he wanted to, but he's obviously not going to, because that could probably get him thrown in prison. He's not going to go around doing that kind of stuff. It was a very clearly satirical statement, but YouTube then immediately took that as a grounds for completely demonetizing and possibly banning his channel, literally deleting his channel off the internet, because they are upset that he's calling them out, and it's not just him, it's spread to other people. ReviewTechUSA has had several videos and streams that have talked about and supported the Actman demonetized, as well as Asmongold's video responding to the video that Actman made calling out YouTube. Asmongold's video has been demonetized. Like, YouTube is just going after anyone who has supported Actman or agrees with any of the points he made. YouTube is really trying to shut people up for going against them. And what it's really doing is just showing the public and all of these creators who have a career on YouTube that if we speak out against YouTube and something that you're doing wrong, you're just going to destroy our career, is basically what YouTube is saying publicly. They're just coming out and saying that. It's completely messed up. And although it's a bit of an exaggeration, I do think it's possible that this could be the beginning of the end for YouTube. It very well could be if YouTube doesn't change the direction that they're going in, because Quantum TV is still up on the channel, and the Actman situation is completely absurd. So right now, they don't have support from their viewers. The general public eye of YouTube is very negative. That's because of the Actman situation. But there could be more problems to come from the Quantum TV situation, like, what about the next time that Quantum TV decides that he wants to make fun of, I don't know, the next mass shooting? The next time he makes a comment about that in a video or a post or something, the public, including advertisers, are probably going to be wondering why YouTube supported someone like that, when it's unequivocally proved again, and it will be, because that's who Quantum TV is, it will be proved again that he should not be on the platform. What are people and advertisers going to think when that information comes out and he does get banned and YouTube tries to cover it up, but he stayed on the platform and they defended him in the past? With that kind of situation, that's the kind of stuff that can scare advertisers away. And if you don't know, that's how YouTube exists. It's advertisement. That is their business model. It's the business model of every social media platform out there. Advertisement is what makes social media go round and round. And if advertisers start to flee the platform of YouTube, YouTube doesn't have any money anymore. And YouTube's suddenly crashing. If this continues, and this pattern of behavior from YouTube continues, and does actually prove to be a true pattern of behavior, then this could be something that genuinely makes advertisers start to flee and causes the downfall of YouTube. Now, is that a bit of an extreme scenario? Yes, because YouTube has so much power that I highly doubt that this situation will escalate to that level, but it could be the beginning of something that does, a pattern that eventually escalates to that level, or maybe they will turn things around. I personally think that I'm done with YouTube unless they turn it around pretty damn soon. I don't want to support this platform. If they're gonna do stuff like that, if they're going to actually take down the Actman's channel for trying to do something that's right and trying to help YouTube as a platform by making it better, by getting rid of corruption in it, if they're that corrupt that they're going to remove his channel and try and sweep it under the rug like there's nothing wrong with this, we don't have to explain ourselves, but he's gone now. Don't look at him. Quantum TV's over here. You can still watch his stuff, but don't look at the Actman anymore. Forget about him. If YouTube's actually trying to do that, and they don't reverse that decision, reinstate Actman's channel, and ban Quantum TV, if they don't do that soon, then I'm walking out. I'm done. This ship is going to sink eventually. That's how I see it, and I'm jumping ship before it does. I'm still going to produce daily content, just not on this platform. If that happens, I'll go to Spotify and make podcasts. I'll stream on Twitch daily. I don't give a shit. Anything but supporting this platform. because I'm just about done with YouTube. This situation came out of the blue. It surprised the hell out of me and so many other people. And if this is what YouTube really is, and this is what the people in charge of YouTube are actually going to do, I don't want to be a part of it. I'm done. This has always been my favorite social media platform, the only one that I use for any significant amount of time. I don't like using Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat. I don't use other social media platforms except for YouTube. And for a long time, it's affected my life in a very positive way. And that's why this has frustrated me and made me so sad, because it turns out YouTube's a piece of shit, apparently. The company. I mean, I knew that they had their issues, and I knew that they weren't perfect. I mean, the whole Logan Paul situation was its own thing, and they left that video up for a whole day because it was raking them in money. Like, that... Yes, YouTube has had its issues, I know, but this, to me, this is a whole nother level. You know, they're so far gone that they can't even be fixed by the public, because the public is staring at them right now, disagreeing with every action they're making, and they're still making those actions. They're still taking the steps in the wrong direction, even with all of us looking at them and saying, you're wrong. What are you doing? And if that's what YouTube is, I'm done. Okay. I think I've said most of what I wanted to say. Don't go harass employees at YouTube. Not that I think any of my fan base will do that, but I just want to continue to further that message. Even the people who are responsible for this, even though they probably should be fired or at least demoted and have someone else take their place who knows what the hell they're doing and is not acting on impulse, is what it seems like this whole situation is. Although I do think those things, I also think that those people do not deserve to get flooded with hate mail, and definitely not death threats. They don't deserve any of that. They're still just human beings, and this situation needs to be resolved, and the people who are making these decisions do need to be removed from their positions so that YouTube can be a better platform for everyone, but they still don't need to be harassed. So don't send hate mail, don't do that sort of thing. If you want to be helpful to this whole cause, then show YouTube that you're not willing to support them. Just in general, like, stop watching YouTube. Go to other platforms. There's plenty of good content on Twitch, and Twitch is such a better company. I love Twitch in comparison, the way they run their company in comparison to YouTube. I mean, they actually communicate with their not their fans, but their users. Imagine that. Actually saying things to your users. So go support other social media entertainment platforms. Stop using YouTube, and support creators who, like Act the Man was, who are putting themselves on the line trying to make a change. Don't go harass. Just try to support those people and give them more publicity and put more pressure on YouTube, essentially, without going the harassment route, because that doesn't help anyone. Because we do need to put pressure on YouTube. That's the only way this is going to change. And we need more creators. I actually hesitate to say this, but we do need more creators to speak their mind about the situation, because, and I say I hesitate to say it because the more creators speak up about it, if YouTube's really going to buckle down and go through with what they're doing, then those creators are going to lose their jobs too. But I mean, this is bad. This is a look into what YouTube actually is on the inside, and it doesn't look good. And it does not look like the platform's headed in good directions, if this is the reality and it doesn't get fixed. So, those are my thoughts on the situation. I'm very disgusted with YouTube's actions. Very, very disgusted. And I really hope that they make the right decision, and I hope that enough pressure is put on them. It just really sucks that the only way that YouTube ever makes a change about anything is when the entire public screams at them to do it. They never just do something because it's a good idea or a generous thing to do. Or, you know, the right thing to do. They never do it for those reasons. So I hope something changes. I really do. This might be one of the last videos I ever make on YouTube. And if it's not, and things don't change, if those two things both happen, rest assured that if I come back to YouTube, this corrupt platform, every video I make will be with the end goal of making a change here. That's a bold statement, a bold thought to think that I can even do that, but that is genuinely what my goal will be on YouTube if things don't change. If I even post anything, I would probably take a long break from YouTube, figure out a plan of how I would possibly want to change things, or just give up on it entirely and move on with my life, because this platform isn't worth my time or any of my money if this is what they really are. And I hope you feel the same way. Have a higher standard than this, than what YouTube is doing right now. Have a higher standard, because this is messed up. And YouTube is showing themselves to be a corrupt platform that I don't think any of us can really trust anymore, as especially not those who have careers. How can you trust a platform that's just going to destroy your career for speaking your mind about them? I mean, there's obviously a limit of which you can speak your mind, but just calling out, it's like calling out your boss for them taking an action that's against the company's rules that he created, and he fires you for it. That's kind of what this is like. It's messed up, and he's ignoring everyone else's cries of how messed up it is. Anyways, I'm talking a lot. I need to stop. Thank you for watching. I'll have links to some of the videos explaining the situation if I didn't do a good job, or if you're interested in seeing more. I'll have a link to some of the Actman's videos that are still allowed to be up. Hopefully they don't get taken down permanently, but they may very well be. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Go do some stuff that makes you uncomfortable, and I will catch you in the next one. If there is one. Actually, no, there is one. I rewrote a song, lyrics to a song that kind of encapsulates how I feel about this, and that'll be coming out tomorrow. But today, after that, this might be the last few string of videos that you ever see on this channel, because I just, no. This is crossing a line, YouTube. This is crossing a line.